Yeah. Nice, I think. We can, yes. The next two speakers, in a way, I mean, you're going to speak both, I hope. Yes, are Rox and George. Also, they don't really need an introduction, they still get one. They have much more puzzles than they should have, I think. At least that's my feeling. But still, no, of course, it's very nice. And they are going to tell about those puzzles, but not about the puzzles themselves, but what to do with that humongous amount of puzzles and what they have been cooking up with that. So, when I connect it.
And I'm just going to start a little bit differently because you guys are really hard act to follow. I've done a lot of things with him over the years. I'm going to tell you a story that is not on the internet. I've known Uwe since I was about 13 years old. And when I moved to Hong Kong in the mid-90s, we got to be very close with each other. I knew him with his first wife kind of thing, right? And we had a very close relationship. And one day Uwe was telling me about how the Pyraminx really started. So he was on a trip somewhere. And he had set up a pyramid-shaped tent, and he lived in it for a week, and there was something going on with some magic mushrooms. And when he left at the end of that trip, he had designed this puzzle. And he went home and worked it out. So that's how... You're on the wrong page. Go back to the very beginning. Can I see that?
Go ahead.
Yes, that's it.
Go ahead. Keep talking.
Okay. All right. So... without further ado, my beautiful lover is going to start. Go.
Beautiful?
Yeah, I think so. Speak.
I'm going to introduce to you PPPP. Hard to say.
Yeah.
Well, what's the motivation? What's the problem? The problem is sharing the world of puzzles.
And IPP isn't enough. You know, once a year is just, it's great to get together, but with COVID, you know, none of us have seen each other, right? And Allard did a fantastic job with the virtual puzzle get-togethers, and you guys have been really lucky because you've been able to get together.
And also you have to ask yourself the question, where can I play with puzzles whenever I want?
Yeah.
Or how can I play with puzzles, any puzzle that's ever been made?
And the answer we've come up with is the Panicali Perpetual Puzzle Party. Now,
instead of once a year, it's not convenient for people to come to one place in the world. I loved going to Australia, but it was very hard to get to. It took a lot of time. And so we decided, why not just have a puzzle party whenever you feel like having one.
yeah.
And what does this mean? You only get to see this? No. You get together a group of friends that you want to puzzle with anytime during the year. It needs one location, one central location, open for any serious puzzler, open for any group of puzzlers, open...
And, ta-da! You've got access to about 80,000 puzzles by the time it all gets to where it's going. I bought a few on this trip of ours that we've been on for the last year.
How much does this cost?
Absolutely free. Right? So,
It's not open during the IPP.
no, it's closed during IPP. We'll be going yeah. It'll be closed during Dutch Cube Day. It'll be closed during German Cube Day. You know, those other puzzle parties, you got to contact them.
Unless, of course, the IPP is held.
in
Panicali.
Yeah.
Where is Panicali?
Well, okay, there it is.
Okay, here's this is the kind of activities that the Perpetual Panicali Puzzle Party is. You can browse the collection, play with any puzzle.
Andreas, you're welcome to come with your scale. And
We
your
put this
tools.
is mainly for Andreas.
That's right.
Only one I know who weighs them all.
We've got some people that we know like to just can't stand having puzzles unsolved, so please come. We've got a lot of those.
This is important for me. I've got boxes and boxes full of puzzles that have fallen on the ground or fallen apart and need to be repaired.
Boxes is like 2. Okay. It's not as bad as it sounds.
No, too big.
Too big, yeah.
2 cubes, like.
2 cubes, yeah.
Okay.
Small containers.
Small containers.
We'll have computers to help you design puzzles that you're thinking about. And we'll have a workshop that allow you to build your puzzles that you've designed, all in one place. We have rules,
Yes. First of all, you have to get there on your own.
which is a puzzle in itself.
It's a puzzle in itself. We are a half an hour from the nearest airport. You can get there from London, Brussels. Anyway, Perugia Airport has about 5 or 6 cities that you can fly in from. The nearest train station is about 20 minutes away from us.
Is this
down the hill.
Perugia, Florida, or is it Perugia, Italy?
This is Perugia, Italy. We're talking about Italy right now. Yeah, it's well, we'll get there. It is right about there. That yeah, it's right. Actually, it is right there by that lake. Okay, sorry.
How far is it from Rome?
We're going to show you. In a minute.
20 minutes on foot?
No,
No, by car.
Okay.
It is by
Yeah.
So
car.
you fly in, oh yeah.
and you take your car
By car.
somehow.
Well, you can take
Yeah.
you can take a train. A train. We looked into taking a train up here, but we had too much stuff to bring back. I knew that. And from our place to Amsterdam is 15 hours by train.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So anyway, sorry.
But it can't hold a puzzle party, IPP's worth, only about 40 people at a time.
So we've got bedding enough for 40 people, which is it's a little step up from our last place. 12 of them have ensuite bathrooms. The rest of them, you go around the corner in one of the public rooms, right? Okay.
However, you have to make your own meals. We'll have a kitchen, but you got to make your own meals. Or you could eat it. We have 4 restaurants in
We have
town.
4 Michelin. We have 4 restaurants in town, and all of them are Michelin starred. So the food is good. Okay.
Or you can buy your own food. We have got a shop that's a grocery store just 1 block away.
And of course, there's a laundry room there. You can do your own laundry, which means when you leave, throw your sheets in the room for me, right? And then just use 1 puzzle at a time, same as always that we've had before.
And put it back on the shelf. Solved.
Where you go. Yes.
Yeah,
Please.
like everywhere. Yeah.
So to answer your question,
No.
that you,
Probably staying for a day or maybe a week or 2.
yes, to answer your question, Dora, Panicale is almost exactly halfway between Florence and Rome, and that big lake is
Is
Castiglione del
Transmigno.
Lago, and it's a very beautiful, beautiful area. All right, now, Panicale is one of the most beautifully, it's the most beautifully preserved medieval town in Italy, and it is on the Italian list of the most beautiful medieval villages. There are also 343 other cities that are on this same list, but we say we're the most beautiful one.
How many people live here?
39.
What?
39. There will be 41 as soon as we move in. Yes, and we have met almost all of them.
And you can have just as many guests as there are people in the city.
That's right. That's right.
Double the city.
So, and I owe Geert a big thank you because he sent me an email about it was you, right, Geert? I believe so. Yeah, there was a BBC4 program called Senora Volpe, and they filmed it in this town, and that's actually the screenshot that we pulled off of the BBC video.
Well,
we wouldn't
which
know
one of
about.
these is ours?
Okay. So,
Good question, George.
it's along the outer wall of the fortress. Okay, and George is not allowed to say a word. You have to see if you can figure it out.
That's the entire. Wow. Okay, that's.
Okay, so some of you might have seen my blog before and seen the photographs of it. So it's a little place, yeah. Okay. So,
How big is yours?
I don't want to discuss it.
puzzle rooms, not other stuff. So, George and I have had fantastic time together over the years, even before we were together, visiting different puzzle collections around the world, and we've just taken a couple of the people that we visited. And these aren't these aren't, they're rooms in a person's house. And in some cases, they're just a wall in a person's house. So we've got Otis, Michael, Tom, John Lynn. Those are just one small wall in their houses. So we have a bit of a collection that you can go and see. We don't have Will's on here because George hadn't seen it until this trip. And that, he said that wasn't fair. So, you know, we've had a bit of fun with this. All right, so our new Puzzle Palace is a little bit big. We have 95 rooms total. We have 20 bathrooms throughout. There are 5 fireplaces and 9 entrances to get into it. It's fantastic.
Does it also have exits?
It does have exits and a lot of windows that, you know, if you get really desperate,
One
right?
exit.
Our old Puzzle Palace in Florida, which consisted of 2 homes, had 48 rooms and 11 bathrooms. And I think we had a total of 8 bedrooms for people, so we could hold 16 people. Of course, you know, everybody asks about the castle. Yes, we have modern heating, we have plumbing, we have electricity and water and lights and all of that stuff. And
And you have a dungeon.
we do have a dungeon, yes. And we have a cistern.
Behave yourself.
An escape room, we've thought about it. We do have a puzzle door already installed. This is, I'm sorry?
I'm here.
You're here.
On the puzzle door.
Oh, yeah. No. Sorry. Yes, she's right. Bravo. We have enough room in the museum to display the puzzles that we have, plus room to extend, which is, sorry, I should say in the castle, plus room to add more to it. So, you know, I'm buying, but we're also taking donations. Okay. So,
When was the castle built?
it was in 1419, and it was built at the same time as the hotel.
What?
What hotel, you ask? Well, I'll answer that in a minute. And yes, the hotel and the castle are connected to each other through a passage in the dungeon.
Fitting.
Yes, it is, isn't it? All right. So, this is the floor plan of the new Puzzle Palace. Okay? And
From the first to the second. Or what?
it's kind of a maze, right? It really is a maze. And
These are the stairs going up the levels. There's 6 floors.
And up is down in the ground?
Yes, actually, that's the way it's.
This
okay.
is the ground,
That's what
and then
was
the
Doors
top
are
yeah.
on the ground floor.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that does make sense, doesn't it? It does.
Architecturally, this is the way it's drawn. These are, this line here is the dumbwaiter, and this is the elevator.
Which is the stupidest thing ever.
It's a weird
It
big
goes
place
from the
to
second
put
to the
it.
third floor.
I mean, yeah.
You know, what's the point here?
Yeah, exactly. They missed something somewhere along the way.
That's where you get tired.
Yeah. And you'll notice in the castle, a lot of it doesn't connect with each other because the castle is defensive. It's not for show. So it's a maze getting through the castle. And the hotel looks like a maze, but it's actually not as bad as it looks, right? So I know you all are...
You talk about this
Yeah.
area here?
Okay, so I know you're all wondering what's the difference. When George and I went on our Around the World cruise, we bought the castle, because I wanted a castle, right? And we found one, bought it. We spent an hour and a half in the town looking at the castle and having lunch with the realtor.
Okay.
And during that hour and a half time, we had purchased the castle, right? So then, when we got there in August, we started going around the rooms, we're looking, and dang, you know how when you're a little kid and the rooms are like massive, and then when you grow up and you go back to your home that you grew up in, it's the tiniest little thing and you wonder, right? We had that with the castle.
Okay.
But the rooms are still big enough, and we've worked out how everything would go, and I'm making ample use of the wall space. And then we decided to bring our Tesla over. And the Tesla's a big car, and we need a garage, and the castle doesn't have a garage.
The big garage.
It's got a garage, but it'll only hold that little farting car, right? So, yeah, it's a tiny little thing, right? So we started looking at places nearby that had garages, but none of the garages would hold the car. And I kept saying to him, the hotel's for sale, the hotel's for sale. They've got a garden.
So they'll think it's not for sale.
Now it's not for sale.
No.
So we looked at it, we did the same thing, we walked around it for about a half an hour, and we said, yep, we're buying the hotel. So we did, we bought the hotel. But then we had a problem because the two buildings are separated. That brings in the dead cat room. So, yes, the dead cat room has, there's two dead cats, actually. Yes,
okay.
it's a
Schrödinger's version,
It's,
kind of.
yes, they're both dead.
They're still both dead, okay.
They're still both dead. So we walked into this room, our electrician has the keys to the room, and he says, the room hasn't been open in 10 years, we don't know what we're going to get. So George and I take a step back, and it was like something out of Indiana Jones, where they've got that massive spider webs hanging there, and he's got a stick, and we're going through it. And, we find two dead cats. The guy, this is the bottom of the round turret, this dead cat room. Now the round turret, the ground floor and the first floor and the section next to it were all moved into by squatters about 30 years ago. And Italy has squatters' rights, so these people that squatted on these properties went in and said, hey, 20 years later, this is mine. Okay, so now everybody in this column is trying to sell us their property. Ain't gonna happen. We got to the guy with the dead cat room before he knew we bought this place.
Good.
We still paid more than is sensible, but by doing that, we were able to combine it into one massive building. We pay one tax rate on it because it's one historic property. We're not dumb.
Saves a lot.
Well,
Yeah.
go ahead.
What was the question?
No, I assume that saves a lot of money and at least a lot of headache. If you connect
One
it.
never knows.
Well, no, that's certainly true.
We're hoping.
If you
We're
can
hoping.
find dead cats
Yeah.
in between.
Yeah, I've been assured now that we have ownership of all three properties, that we can combine them into one residence. It's
Yes.
important that we live there, that we become Italiano. And, and since it's historic, it's an A3 rating, which means that we don't have to pay any property tax.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
0, which is why this overpriced dead cat room was, it was worth the money we
Yeah.
paid for it. But it wasn't that overpriced, but anyway.
Wasn't it
All right.
possible to connect on the fourth floor? Or?
No, because there's apartments coming through here from other squatters,
All the way to the top.
all the way to the top.
Oh boy.
Yeah, all the way to the top. And I've had a couple people contact me saying, my place is for sale. No, I got what I need. I'm good. So,
This is the floor plans of the castle part. I know you can't see all that, but,
I've got paper copies that I'll have downstairs you can take a look at later. But,
and this is the most one of the more interesting ones. This is actually on top of this, and it's the lookout where you can see anybody from 5,000 miles around
Yeah.
coming, or with the soldiers. And the soldiers did use this Panicale as a fortress when they were being attacked by Hannibal. But Hannibal got around most of them and drove the Russian.
the Romans, the Romans.
Romans.
We're in the wrong war, honey.
Not
Roman
Italian yet.
legions
Nothing.
into the lake. And so
Yeah.
there was some very interesting.
Good skydiving in that lake.
Okay. And
All right.
then this is, the next one is.
And the next one is the hotel floor plans. And these two floors are actually underground. In the castle, there's one floor definitely underground, and then it kind of goes uphill. So at some point, there's 2 floors underground, at some point, there's 3 floors underground. And we've got such a problem with getting packages. It's not a problem. We get
Puzzle, oh, yes, my daughter asked, well, how many puzzles do you get? You know,
On average.
I said
how often?
hourly. No, how many do you get? Hourly, oh, let me give you a check. In a typical day, we get 10 puzzles, and it comes during the day, so, you know.
It's pretty much hourly. So we've solved that problem by designating this room as the delivery room. And, you know, it's got a keypad on the outside, it's got a lock so they can't get into the rest of the property, and you put it on your address and the delivery men just go throw the packages in there. So we have a special room just for deliveries. And it's not a painful delivery room either. And then this floor is all bedrooms and that floor is all bedrooms. So it was done up as a proper hotel. And we've got place for people now that we didn't have before. So, this is a question we get asked all the time. Not anymore is the answer. Absolutely. I should have put that down. The answer is no. Well, yeah, I suppose. Go ahead,
We're
George.
permanently moving to Italy. So the cost of living is lower in Italy than it is in Florida. And it is lower than here as well. The cost of the castle and the hotel are less than the house we're selling in Boca Raton.
The small house. So we bought when the market was low, and we're selling while the market is high, and everything in Italy is still low. So we're kind of balancing it out.
Yes, it's called arbitrage. Okay. We hope to vacation mostly in Europe. We've already exhausted the U.S. and
I
Asia,
don't want to go to Asia anymore.
and it'll be cheaper from Italy. And we proved that by driving up here from Panicale. It took us 3 days,
Yeah, we did a lot of
but
things.
hopefully in the future it'll take us 20 days or 30 days or 60 days.
Exactly.
We will be getting Italian citizenship.
Yeah. My family is Italian, so I'm going through that by blood thing to get my passport.
And finally, yes, we are crazy.
Absolutely. So,
When is the new Puzzle Palace open?
it is, yes. Our puzzle collection the museum is completely packed up, picked up, on its way to Miami, maybe on its way to Rotterdam. We're not sure where in the process it is. The big house that we started out with is being finished right now while we're gone.
These are the things we have to do. We have to finish packing our collection,
What's left?
ship it all to Rotterdam, and you can ask me a question about that later if you want. We have to sell 2 houses in Boca Raton. We have to truck the collection to Panicale from Rotterdam, and I think we'll take about 4 or 5 truckloads.
We've got four, maybe 5 containers, the 45-footers that we're filling up.
We have to unpack over 1,000 crates and cartons. We have to restore the hotel's kitchen and get sofa beds for the bedrooms. We have to build shelves for the puzzles, and it goes on and on and on.
And you get to go to the ICP.
Oh, yes,
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
only that. But
Wait,
The hotel wasn't, what do you say, on duty or?
No, what happened was the hotel was purchased by a guy who's the brother of one of the Michelin star restaurants in town. They didn't get their Michelin star, but they were working on the hotel while they were trying to get their star. They didn't get the star. It was a bit of, so this guy, bank foreclosure, after they had completely remodeled, but they went in and the bank sold off everything that was in the hotel. So it's completely been remodeled 5 years ago. It's been empty for 5 years. So we actually get the keys to the hotel on Thursday this week.
there are
We get the keys to the hotel on
about 3 days.
Thursday. We get the keys to the dead cat room on Friday. So
Are you sure the cats are still dead there?
they're mummified. They're definitely,
they won't be moving.
they're not moving anytime soon. So anyway, but we expect to have it open by Christmas time of next year, and we will have a premiere Panicale puzzle party. The date is to be announced. Just watch my blog and you'll see it. Everyone, of course, is invited. In the town of Panicale, there are over 100 rooms available for people, not including our hotel. It's not a hotel. It's our house, right? Not including our house. There are 2 boutique hotels in town. There's a massive Airbnb. There are people, not Airbnb, what is it called, bed and breakfast. There are about 20 little Airbnbs, because that's what they've turned them into. I know of 2 country houses that have 15 bedrooms each. Excuse me, just down the hill. So there's a lot of, if you don't get to us first, there's places to stay, is what I'm trying to say.
I'd like to say one more thing, and that is, this is a huge, huge house, and we're the only 2 living in it. We're going to get very lonely unless you all come. The worst thing that could happen is to throw a party.
And have no one show up. So, this is one of the trucks that came in. It's not a 45-footer, it's about 30 feet, I think. But the city was really good, they just block off the road for us, and, you know, in you come. The truck was actually supposed to be sideways, but there was a car on the other side that refused to move, so they just shut the
It's
street
still,
down.
it's Italy.
It worked, yeah, it's still Italy. And there's the dungeon, and that's a bunch of puzzles that we've just received. This is why the number keeps going higher and higher and higher. We've just got Ad Vanderschat's puzzle collection from him, and that's it right in here. There's another room of them that you don't see that's also filled up with his puzzles. And when we started this around the world trip, I think over the course of the time, we bought puzzles as we went, but we also bought 2 or 3 other puzzle collections as we were going along. So,
And our goal with the Puzzle Palace, as always, is no boxes. Puzzles always being on shelves that you can look at. Is so many of you have very fine collections, but unfortunately, it's up in the attic in boxes. Even Nob Yoshigahara had one of the better collections in the world. He never opened a box. And when they moved it to the museum, they stored all those boxes and only put 1 room's worth of a display.
and, you know, what's the expression? This isn't our first rodeo. So now we know what we did wrong in the first 2 houses, and hopefully we can fix it in the third one. But even in Florida, there were no puzzles in boxes. Everything was out on display. So we expect by Christmas, as long as those shelving guys get to work, I'll be done by Christmas. Yeah. So, domande?
Do you speak Italian?
I'm learning.
Do you speak German? Do you speak
No.
He's relying on me.
He is just, oh yeah, okay, of course. Yeah.
Italian? Do you speak Italian? No.
No. Exactly. That's what he does. Yeah.
Seeing those are historical places, is it easy to remodel on the inside, or is it very strict rules?
We can do what we damn well feel like on the
Oh, that's
inside.
interesting.
We can't do anything on the outside. But if we do something, like I'm knocking out some doors. These doors I can knock out because they were there historically. And they've just been bricked up, so I can pull those doors out. But there's one bathroom, I want to make a Jack and Jill bathroom. We have to have an engineer come in, make sure it's structurally sound before we can do it.
Of course. Yeah.
But otherwise, we can do what we want.
Can you put an elevator?
From the ground floor on?
Okay, so this is crazy. The guy put the elevator in, he wanted exercise, he's 73, he's got Parkinson's. He wanted to have exercise, so he didn't put the elevator from the ground
Sort of.
to his apartment. So he comes in on one side, and it's only one set of stairs he has to go up. But if he wanted to get to the 3rd floor, he couldn't make it, so he put the elevator between 2 and 3. Unfortunately, the engineer wasn't the brightest of people, I think, because they didn't put it all the way to the ground. They mounted it to the side of the castle, and the castle's going like this. So we're either going to put in an elevator or we're going to rip it out altogether. But I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, we're going there. That's okay.
There it is. Okay. So this dark corner right here that looks like it's all brick, it's not. It is an enclosed circular staircase that was used for the
Brilliant.
soldiers that were going all the way to the
Yeah.
top, right?
It's been bricked up.
It's been bricked up. It's been bricked up, but it's openable. And our plan is to look at it and see how feasible it is to put in a
Cylindrical.
Cylindrical kind of, yeah.
it's like it sucks it up with a vacuum
Yeah, exactly.
type of elevator.
Pneumatic.
Pneumatic?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
There's a possibility we'll be building one in. We don't know
yeah.
at this point.
Yeah, not sure yet. And the same thing goes with the hotel. There's a space for it, but we want to get the puzzles up and in before we start doing anything like that.
Okay. Half a year ago, I read in your blog that you had smuggled a microwave onto that cruise ship,
Yes.
and everybody bought it, including me. So when a few months later you said you had bought a castle, nah, can't be true. But it's apparently true, and I'd like to present you with a couple of puzzles which are dedicated to your new puzzle palace.
Well, thank you.
And I hope you like it. Maybe you can print your own and give them away as welcome gifts. I'm not sure about that. That would be
Well, that would be
12
wonderful, Peter.
hours 3D printing time.
Well, thank you very much.
At
That's
least.
so sweet.
And I think you can solve those on the spot.
To answer a couple of unasked questions, we are moving permanently. We're selling both houses in Florida. They're both on the market and being looked at while we're here. We get on a ship in Miami, I think, on the 5th of April, and we arrive in Italy on the 25th of April, and we ain't going back.
So who's taking care of the castle in the meantime?
Antonio.
Okay, that sounds like engineering, sort of.
Says it all.
We bought the castle. It came with a housekeeper and an electrician.
Oh, wow. Okay, that
Yes, an
says enough, I
electrician.
think.
I mean,
the fact
right?
that he has to be there all the time,
No,
or
no. He actually, Antonio grew up in the castle. His mother
Boy, right.
is a little boy. His
Okay.
mother was the previous countess's helper. She was her
yeah,
assistant, her maid, basically.
So Antonio's mic does not stand for any mobster or something.
No. He's one of the most honest, gentle men I've ever met. He's just so sweet. And the previous owner of the castle wanted them to move with him and continue working, and he said, I stay with the castle.
Okay.
So, and we've become very good friends with him, which is wonderful.
Can we help?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Can I answer his question before I answer your question? What? Say it again, Andreas.
I'm afraid I forgot the question. But my question now was, how many duplicates?
Okay, we'll get there in a minute.
Okay.
Your first question was, can we help? And the
Yes.
answer is, yes, that's why we want you guys to come. Photographs, whatever, right?
It's not just photographs.
There's enough work to do.
There's plenty
Yeah, you can
of help that we can use.
in a lot of ways, I think.
Yes.
Now, cataloging, your turn.
Who asked the catalog?
Geert asked about cataloging. So.
Do you have any plans or ideas about how to catalog the entire thing?
I'm going to let Peter Knoppers answer that question.
Well, I had some ideas about it, but yeah, you need some kind of database with all the information you have about the puzzles, but probably also classes of the puzzles. And you have the Jerry Slocum class, you have the James Olgetti class, classification system, and many more. But one of the problems I have with that is if you reveal that, for instance, a puzzle has 12 pieces, but actually it has a secret 13th piece inside. What do you mention in your database? Is it 12 pieces or is it 13? So I think your database should have fields for what it apparently is. And also fields for the real values.
Okay.
That's the nitty gritty stuff, but
Yeah,
I guess
but I want
You need
to.
be able to add photos, movies, PDFs, everything you can find about your puzzle. And of course, designer, manufacturer, materials,
But
size, weight.
this could go on, but we're not specializing, let's say, in sliding block puzzles. We're very, very open to everything, and not only the new puzzles, but the historical thing. We're trying to build a place that's central and is a repository for all the intellectual knowledge and beauty that's gone into years and years of puzzles.
That's the library.
And to give you a more an answer that might be closer to what you're asking, George has contacted a company, and I think what we're going to end up doing is buying a ready-made one that's used for museums. Okay. And it's a database that's already there. And then now can you answer the question?
Well, yeah, but also our idea is not just to brag about what we have, but just about everyone here has their own collection, and hopefully we'll be able to make this public to some degree to allow you to share your collection digitally, either as private or to share it publicly.
Yeah, kind of like what the Twisty Puzzles Museum is, but instead of taking from what's there already, adding your own to it and saying this is part of my collection and the information.
I was
Did you find the cannon?
No, but I'm going to try and get somebody to 3D print me one. I think that would be really cool.
The real cannon is for sale in the Hague.
Yeah. Okay.
Gift shop.
I'm buying puzzles right now. I've spent enough on other stuff, right? Sorry? You can bring the gunpowder?
Yeah, that's
Good. Tony, sorry.
The castle, especially like dungeon, is very different to where you were before in terms of like potential dampness and dust and stuff. So, is that an issue that's you have to sort out? Or?
Well, it's being sorted. Okay. We get the official keys. Well, this is Italy, right? We get the official keys to the castle on the 17th of November. All right, and the first thing they're doing on the 17th of November is taking care of the woodworm throughout the main buildings.
Okay.
That hasn't been done in about 10 years. So they're doing that. And then the second thing they're doing is going through and replacing all of the windows on the top floors because they're plastic. And plastic. This is called, yeah, exactly.
It was just in its infancy.
Yeah. So they're replacing those with, good glass windows, but they're resealing all of the windows in both buildings to make sure that there's no draft coming in. We don't have air conditioning, so we don't have the system that we had in Florida. We just have no way to put it in, that to our knowledge. But it's something I'll look into as we go on.
So if 20 people gather in one room, we will have a humid environment.
Not really, it's very drafty.
This is what we're looking into, how to solve this problem under these conditions. The castle is, actually it's not that drafty. The fourth floor is, and the dungeon floor is. And the solution to the dungeon floor is, that's his workshop and the wine cellar. Which, I mean, it makes sense. Because now we've got the hotel, we don't need to use this space anymore for puzzles. Yeah.
Good.
How is Panicale as a town? Because it has 4 restaurants, only 39 inhabitants.
They have a lot of tourists.
It's really tourist place.
Yes, and they have something in the middle, a plaza. And this seems to be where the people congregate for their morning coffee. And their afternoon tea. And it's very communal.
Oh, very much so.
They're very quiet. You can hear
So you can see it actually.
Sorry about that.
that.
This is the central plaza right here.
Yeah, it's like a big spiral.
It's
going
a,
up front,
yeah.
Sorry, where is your building on that?
On the front.
We are here.
Where's the piece that you do not own?
Okay, we own everything in red. Okay.
Where are the spotters?
The squatters are in these 2 rows right here. These 2, right there. Actually, this building right here is for sale. They only want 110,000 euros for it.
Wow.
If anybody's interested. Yeah. And the apartment right here, this building that part right there, they want 130,000 unless you have them finish it. And if they finish it off, it's 180,000.
Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
And I can show you the other ones that are for sale too.
In 5 years, you own the town.
No. No.
Still have a football ballot.
We still have, yeah.
Community will own it.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
community
yeah.
maybe. Yeah, that would be
Then
nice.
we have a puzzle day here.
Exactly.
How much of this change of life was because you fell in love with Panicale or you fell out of love with Boca?
Oh God, I'd never leave Boca. Oh man. I was trying to work out how we could live half the year in Boca, the golf season and then the other season in Italy, and everything was going okay. But then I started calculating all the management fees and the club dues and it just went on and on and on. And we were living in the first floor of the castle for like a week, and I said to George, we have to sell both houses because for what we were paying in just annual fees to live there, forget utilities and food, we can live for like 10 years in Italy. It's just, okay, forget electricity, because that's different, but it's really, it's not that we're rich, it's that it's just so darn cheap here. It's so inexpensive.
Is there a golf course nearby?
Yeah, it's down over here, that way. It's off the map.
One important question. It's called Lamborghini, and it's all.
Do you adopt people?
No, no,
Adopt people?
Adopt people.
no.
Any idea about your power bill in the winter, heating bill?
Not yet.
Not yet.
There's no information about
We'll
that.
find out. We'll find out.
We asked for information, he says it's changing daily, so I think.
He couldn't give it to us. I don't know.
You can always buy a thermoventilator. I think you understand what I mean.
Yeah, but I don't think they'll let us put it in.
But there's a
Come on.
small item like this to be placed in any room.
Yes, that's
Well, that we can do.
That we can do.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
If you want to keep your puzzles as constant temperature and humidity,
Yeah.
a lot of energy.
Yeah. We can't put, we're going to find out about solar, but I don't think they're going to let us. I have a feeling.
And can't see the roof.
Will you also
yeah,
Shot
but
like this.
create financial donations for the puzzle?
If we take 1 penny of income during the course of the year and the Italian government finds out about it, our tax goes from 0 to 9% on the castle and something like 22% on the hotel. No, we are not taking any income, period.
It's
No,
only puzzles.
only puzzles. We're not even charging at the door. It's,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, so you're very careful for other kind of donations other
So
than
you
puzzles.
only take puzzles as contribution.
Absolutely.
that would work.
Yeah, that works.
Hide your money inside the puzzle.
Hey, there you go.
You have to solve it before.
I'm missing a couple of boxes. Throw a couple grand in there at the same time, right?
I
Yeah.
want to put a plug in for Oskar van Daventer, because you asked about the smuggling it in, and he came up with a soma cube that had holes in it, and the solution is to hide as many diamonds as possible inside the soma cube. Okay. Well,
How high is it above sea level and how far can you...
okay, it's about 900, was it 600 feet? 600 feet?
It's 400 meters.
Oh, 400 meters.
400 meters here, and then the next highest, the mountain up here is another 400 meters higher.
And that's a good walk. And
Fantastic walk.
If you go out of our door here, you go right across the street, and it starts with a hiking trail, and you can hike all the way up top of a mountain here. Now, you ask about the site. We have 2 towers, a round tower and a square tower. The square tower is all open there, except for the netting to keep the birds out. But standing on this side here, you have a spectacular view of the countryside and the lake. It's out of a picture book.
It's probably, I can't do kilometers yet, but it's, the city is 20 miles away, and you can make out buildings in the city. I mean, it's just, it's stunning. Well, with a telescope, you'd probably make out people in the buildings, but, I mean, you can see the individual buildings in the city. It's really amazing. But I'm biased now. And to go back to your question, Clive, no, we didn't fall out of love with Boca. We didn't fall in love with Panicale. We were on the cruise. We saw a Etruscan necropolis, and then we went to the museum, and the museum was a castle, and I said, I want to buy a castle. I want a castle. I Googled castles for sale in Italy. We found this one. We got to Livorno the next morning. We got off the ship. We were driving, it took 3 hours from Livorno to Panicale, the drive in the taxi. And while we were in the taxi, I contacted a realtor and said, can you get us to see the inside of it? So we had no plan. We just jumped in. When we got to the 4th floor, George said, come here, come here, come here. And he said, look at this. And there was a puzzle on the wall, and that was it. We said, we're buying it.
A sign from
If you
above.
want the sign, you...
That was it.
Right.
Yeah.
Why are you shipping the puzzles to Rotterdam?
Because if they go through the Netherlands, it's a household move, and we don't have to pay duty on it. But if it goes through Italy, we have to pay duty on it. But we can go from Rotterdam, it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. We can go from Rotterdam, take it down to Italy, no problem. But if we go into Rome or Livorno, which is much closer, we pay duty on it.
You cannot ship it from Rotterdam to Rome and then
No, because then you have the same problem.
Same
We have the
problem.
same
That's the
problem.
problem again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you should
so-
just evade it.
So they get shipped to Rotterdam, and then this Polish company picks them all up and brings them down to Italy for us.
No allowance from museums. You'd think there'd be an exception for museums.
One would think, but I'm actually allergic to cats, so the answer is no.
The town is replete with cats.
They're all over the place.
And so that there's no detected rat or mice problem. Okay then. Thank you very much for your,
Anyway, we'll be downstairs. I've got the floor plans and color coded and all that if you want to see them. We have room for puzzles.
And we still have something to do.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Yeah? We still have some little presents as contributions for this nice talk.
thank you. This is great.
What a puzzle.
We've got some puzzles and books.
oh, and then,
This is something that we, okay, go ahead, books.
okay, yes, we do have a library, a very large library, just in Pleasantville. And another thing you mentioned about duplicates. Were there any duplicates? Well, yes.
Like in any collection.
Yes, like in any collection, but on a scale that's gargantuan.
When George and I combined our collection, we had 3,000 duplicates between
Of
us.
course, yeah.
Yeah.
And it just grows, and we have several rooms just for duplicates.
Uh-huh.
I would love to share this, and we will do that through events just like this, but mostly when you come to visit Panicale, we'll have a giant treasure chest where you have your pick. We're basically giving the duplicates away, why not?
So everybody, we've had it in Boca in both houses. You come in, take a puzzle on your way out the door, and we're going to carry on the same thing. Except you might have to hunt for the treasure chest, and
Yeah.
it's not right by the front door.
Okay.
A little bit of work is nice.
you don't have to get a puzzle.
Yes, that's nice.
That would be fantastic. We appreciate that.
No.
No, no,
Okay, everyone can go now.
no.
Yes, I did. It's already given.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Yeah. Really. Don't forget your...
Is that mine?
That's